So I've made over $1.7 million selling simple ebooks online. And in my opinion, this is one of the best business models to get started with right now. Because unlike other products or services you can sell, with ebooks, you only need to create it once and you can sell it unlimited amount of times. So in this video, I'll show you how you can get started with this using just free tools and get your ebook made and selling within 24 hours. So I'm sure you've watched other videos on this topic, but you will see that I have a very different approach to everyone else talking about this. And honestly, in my opinion, I think my way is way better, which I think my results back up. Because I'm actually doing this business model, not just teaching it on YouTube, unlike all the other side hustle YouTube channels out there. And most other YouTube videos on this topic shows you how to create an ebook, but they don't actually show you how to market it and start making sales, which in this video, I'll show you that part as well. So we're going to cover 4 simple steps. Number 1 is we're going to research the topic. Number 2, create the book. Number 3, we'll upload the book. And number 4 will be marketing it. So let's get started with step number 1, which is researching the topic. So you want to start off with doing a huge brain dump of whatever topic that comes to mind, whether that is your passion, interests, hobbies, any cool idea that you currently have in your head. You want to take out a pen and paper and start doing a huge brain dump, writing it down. You can also use ChatGPT to get more ideas. So I just went to ChatGPT and asked a very simple prompt. Give me 50 ebook ideas I can write about. And just like that, we have 50 topic ideas, right? So we have self-discipline, the science of habit, procrastination, building confidence. We have the business category over here, like starting a freelancing career, digital products, how to monetize a niche blog. We got tech, AI, and productivity, creative writing, health, wellness, and lifestyle, like gut health, home workouts with no equipment. We got decluttering your home, declutter your mind. I like the decluttering topic, and many more ideas here. So when it comes to coming up with your book idea, right? Most people will tell you to write your book on whatever topic you are passionate about. And this is completely wrong. Like, this is not something you want to do if you want to make money. There's actually one thing you have to confirm before you go and start writing. By skipping this one thing, you could waste so much time creating a book that no one wants. So what is the step? Well, that is validating your idea. This is essentially making sure that people actually want a book on the topic, right? Are people actually going to buy the book if I make it, kind of thing? So most people write a book on whatever topic they want first. They just come up with, oh, this idea is cool, so let me write a book about it. And then once they're done writing the book or creating the book, then they go and try to find people who want to buy it. They're like, okay, I wrote this book. How can I get other people to be interested in this? And that's like the most backward thing ever, because if you don't confirm that people are even interested in the topic before you go and write it, then it's just a complete waste of time. So what you have to do is identify what books people are buying first. Then you go and make a book on that, okay? This way you know that your book will sell before even making it. And the best niche, the ideal niche, is a combination of a niche that is profitable, because we're trying to make money here, right? We're not just doing this as a hobby. We're trying to make money, which means it has to be profitable. But also, preferably, you are passionate about, or at least interested in learning more about the topic, right? A combination of two. But if you have to choose, right, for whatever reason, you can't find a niche that, fulfills both criteria. If you have to choose one, you always go for profitability, not your passion, if you want to make money. If you are all about, I'm an artist, I want to do what I love, this and that, then go for whatever topic that you're passionate about, and you can be one of those broke artists, no problem. But if you're here watching this and you want to make money, choose profitability. Now, how do we go and validate that our topic is profitable? Well, all you have to do is search for the topic on Amazon. In this case, I'm checking decluttering because I wanted to check if decluttering is a profitable topic, and you will get to a page like this. Now, if you're wondering what these are, or this section, these are from softwares, which it is a free tool that I want you guys to go and get right now. And that tool is called DS Amazon Quick View. If you go to the Google Chrome store, it is a free Google Chrome plugin. And by getting it, it'll show you this number right here. Okay, you can see that it's 1,905 in Audible stores. So what it's telling us is that this book right here is the 1,905th best-selling book in the entire audiobook store. So this is called the bestseller rank. And the cool thing about Amazon is that Amazon tells us how well the book is selling compared to other books. So they tell you the ranking of the book right here, especially with the DS Amazon Quick View. So this one over here is 49,799 best-selling book in the entire bookstore. Now, I have another tool called Bookbeam that automatically calculates how much the book is making in actual royalties. This is not revenue, this is royalties, like how much you actually get paid from this book. So this book is doing $55 a day in royalties, right? Which means $1,500 a month. This book is doing $355 per day, which is amazing. And basically what you want to do is you want to scroll through page 1 and find a book topic with below 80,000 BSR. And BSR is bestsellers rank once again, right? So why 80,000? On average, that book is making around $500 per month. If it's doing way below 80,000, it's doing a lot more than $500 per month. So it's just a benchmark, but it's a good benchmark to aim for. So going back to this topic, right? Decluttering, this book way below 80,000, and that's why it's doing way more than $500 a month. This book is doing 10K per month, right? This one over here, 49,000, so below 80,000. Once again, $1,500 a month, very profitable. This book over here is 5,000, so also very profitable. And over here, 1,293. So all of these books way below 80,000. What I recommend is you find at least 3 books on page 1 below 80,000. Not all books on page 1 has to be below 80,000, just at least 3. This shows us that there are books out there that are profitable on this topic, which means that if we make a similar book on the same topic, it's probably going to sell too. Now we can go and create the book. So never create a book before validating the idea, okay? This is where everyone messes up. And for this video, right, since we're trying to get a book created and live in 24 hours or less, I want you guys to focus on topics that are easy to write. There are some topics that are easy to create and some topics that are a little bit harder to create. So I'm going to give you some ideas. This is not all the ideas, it's just a few, but here are some easy book ideas. The first one are storybooks. So there are a lot of different stories that you can write about. These are just compilation of short stories like this one, inspiring stories for amazing girls, doing $100 a day. Halloween short stories for kids, $94 a day. Bedtime stories, Bible stories, Native American short stories for kids. And if you look inside the book, it's just a compilation of a bunch of short stories. Anyone with some imagination can come up with some short stories because it's not even a non-fiction book, right? You don't even have to fact check anything. It's just a fiction stories again. So these are very, very easy to create, especially with the help of AI. It's getting really quick and easy to create these stories. Like I literally just asked, write me a 1,000 to 2,000 word short Halloween story for kids. And then, we have pretty much an entire story over here. So one thing I want to emphasize here is that I am not teaching people to pump out as many low quality AI written books as possible. That's not the whole point. So you can use AI as a tool, and this is your first draft that you get from AI. But from here, I want you to make sure you read the entire thing, make sure it's good, add your personal touch to it, change up things here and there, right? To make the book even better. Make sure that the stories are actually good and that the book is high quality, that the people will be happy once they buy it. But as long as you do that, using AI itself is not an issue at all. A lot of people hate on me just because I use AI, but in my opinion, using AI itself is not an issue if the book is good. The issue is that a lot of times if you just copy paste from AI, the book is not the best, and that's where the problem happens. So if you want a more in-depth tutorial on exactly how to create storybooks like this, then I do have a separate YouTube video that I filmed on a step-by-step tutorial. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check it out, but make sure to watch this video until the end before you go and click on the video, because I do have a lot more tips that you should probably hear before you go and watch the other video. All right, so the next type of book you can create are the journals and planners. So a lot of books are doing really well, like this one, Between Mom and Me, $500 a day. Grandmother, I Want to Hear Your Story, $300 a day. Daily Gratitude Journal, $88 a day. Father-Daughter Journal, we got Prayer Journal for Teen Girls doing $1,667 per day, which is absolutely insane. So if you're just getting started with this publishing business, you can start publishing these blank journals. It's not going to make you a ton of money, although this one right here, super simple book, things I need to write down because I'm old and I forget stuff, right? Extremely simple cover, probably made on Canva. It's doing $100 to $200 a day, which is amazing, right? But that's not the average results that you should be expecting. But if you're just getting started with this business and you just want to practice with a couple books, this is a pretty good niche to go into. By the way, with Amazon, you can always click on read sample here and spy on your competitors or other books and see what kind of content they have. And you can see that this one has absolutely no content. Extremely easy. There's a lot of Canva templates with journal templates like this that you can use, right? And you can even make it better by adding little images, text, stuff like that to add more content, which will make the book even better. But nonetheless, it is still a very simple, straightforward, easy book to create. And once again, I do have a step-by-step tutorial on how to get into this niche. I'll leave a link to the video in the description. But you don't have to choose between those two niches, right? You can literally write a book on any profitable topic you find. Like in my case, I'm going to show you how to do it in the decluttering topic. But instead of thinking, oh, I have to write a 150, 200 page book, right? Which is huge for someone who's just getting started. You can just make the book shorter and make it easier on yourself, especially because this is your first book. So you can get started with something like 5,000 to 10,000 words. This is going to be like 50 pages or something. It's a lot easier for you. And if you want to, you can always add content and update it later. So bottom line here is fast action beats perfectionism. A lot of people don't make money online, not because, they're not smart enough or they're not skilled enough. They just overthink too much. And they think they have to get everything perfect before they even start selling the book, which is a problem because they never actually get to the point where they feel the book is perfect and they're selling it, right? They never get to that point. So just start taking action. Just get the book out there is the bottom line here. And once again, I want to put out a disclaimer here that I am not claiming that any of these methods will make you a millionaire, right? That would honestly be crazy if you can literally retire off of a book you made in 24 hours or less. That's just insane, right? It's super unrealistic. But what we're trying to accomplish here in this video is we're trying to take fast action, get our first digital product up, and make our first sale online. That's the whole goal, right? Once we do that, we can come back and improve our process to make more money. I became a millionaire from doing this business, not from teaching it, from actually doing it, right? I went from broke in depth actually to over $1 million in net worth from doing this, but not from one book that I whipped up within 24 hours, right? That was the start, but I kept publishing and kept improving my process. Eventually you can get there, but I just wanted to give you that disclaimer here. So with that out of the way, we move on to step number 2, which is to actually create the book. So if you're doing a storybook or a journal book that I showed you earlier, then just follow the videos that I linked to in the description. But if you're doing other types of books, then I'm going to show you a simple way for you to go and write that book, even if you're not a writer. So when it comes to writing the book, you essentially want to brain dump everything in a Google Doc. So just take out a Google Doc and start writing there. But this is how you want to think about it when it comes to writing a nonfiction, especially a how-to book. You want to imagine taking the reader from point A to point B. Point A is where they are currently at. They're currently struggling with the problem. So if someone buys a weight loss book, right, they are struggling with their weight. So that's point A is they want to lose weight, but they don't know how to. And point B is when they overcame the problem. Essentially, they've lost the weight. They know exactly what to do to keep the weight off, right? So what you should be doing is to ask, what are the 4 to 8 steps the reader should take to get from point A, struggling with the problem, to point B, overcoming that problem? Those steps are your chapters. So I got an amazing ChatGPT prompt that you can pause the video and copy this and use it as well. But this is a prompt, okay? So I'm writing a book on the topic. In my case, decluttering. In your case, just replace it with whatever topic. And I need your help in creating a detailed book outline. The goal of this book is to take the reader from point A, struggling with stress and unproductivity due to the clutter in their home. Now for you, you have to replace this with whatever point A that you think people are in. This is your job to identify what problems they are facing, right? So just replace that here. Like again, if you're doing a weight loss book, point A is probably that, oh, they're struggling with weight, right? To point B, feeling stress-free and productive as they know the decluttering strategies, right? Again, if you're doing a weight loss book, point B, when they accomplish the results, is probably that they lost weight and they're happy, right? That's point B. So what are the 6 steps the reader should take from point A to point B? Please create a chapter for each step and add subsections for each chapter. So that's the prompt. And just by asking it over here, we got the chapter outline. So we have step 1, which is essentially chapter 1, right? Get clear on the why. Chapter title, The Real Cost of Clutter. We got the subsections, so we have more ideas on what to write in that chapter. Chapter 2, breaking free from attachment and guilt. Chapter 3, designing your decluttering roadmap, another subsection over here. Chapter 4, momentum over perfection. Chapter 5, letting go of sentimental and emotional clutter. And chapter 6, building habits to stay clutter-free for life. Okay, I think these are pretty good chapters that we can use. So now that we have the book outline, we can start filling it up, right? Actually writing the book. But there's one thing you have to understand before you do so, and that is that people buy books to solve a problem. And this is key. Okay, when people buy fiction books, they want to be entertained. Their problem is essentially they're bored. It's the same thing as when people, watch Netflix or TV shows or play video games. They want a source of entertainment because their problem is just they're bored and they want an escape. With nonfiction book, though, they want to learn how to fix a problem. Okay, with nonfiction, they got an actual problem in their life that they're trying to find a solution for. So going back to it, when people buy a book on decluttering, it's because their house is a mess. and they're stressed out about it, right? They want to fix it. No one in their right mind, if their house is super, super squeaky clean and there's no problem, would probably buy a book on decluttering. Like there's nothing to fix, right? There are very few people out there that's kind of weird and they will buy a book, but those are an exception. They're not the norm. So when people buy a weight loss book, it's because they have a problem of losing weight, and that's the problem. They want to fix it. So books are just a solution to a problem people have. So every single chapter in your book should be focused on solving whatever problem that you identify the reader has. Any section in your book that doesn't directly solve the reader's problems are fluff, right? It's just useless information. Like if someone buys a book titled How to Declutter Your Home, right? Obviously they want tips and strategies on exactly how to do that. But what if I go and start adding chapters like, who invented the term decluttering, right? And I start talking about that. Like, do you think people would appreciate that? Do you think the reader will care like who invented the term decluttering? How does that help them declutter their house, right? It doesn't. Like, it's just complete useless information. So you don't want to add that. This is super important, right? Every single thing that you add inside the book, you always got to be asking yourself, is this going to help the reader solve the core problem, the whole reason why they're buying this book in the first place? So I'm back on ChatGPT and I just asked it to write all of chapter 1, right, in the same conversation. And it starts writing chapter 1 over here. So what I'm going to do is just copy this entire thing and I'm going to paste it into a Google Doc over here. Now, as I said earlier, don't just copy paste. You wrote a whole book, done, right? That's not what we're doing here. But I'm just going to copy this first draft in the Google Doc and I'm going to come back and tweak a lot of the things. Now, I'm not going to do that in this video because it's going to be way too long, but hopefully you get the point here is that you essentially generate the first draft, right? This is chapter 2. So I'm going to do the same thing with chapter 2 over here. And then I'll come back and edit things. I especially will remove these emojis because emojis don't look good in a book format. I think it's unprofessional. So I'm just going to remove it. And obviously I'll rewrite a lot of the sections to further improve the book. So once you're done with the entire process, you generated the entire book manuscript. You went back and tweaked the content. You made sure that you're happy with the content yourself. You think it's good, right? You made it better. The next step is to create the title. So title, same thing. ChatGPT can give you a lot of ideas. You want to choose titles that are easy to understand, clearly explains the value or the transformation the reader will achieve, right? And you want to avoid being too fancy. Okay. You also want to include specific numbers if you can. Like as an example, if you can put 7 steps to an organized home, right? Adding those numbers in. It does sound nice, although you don't have to do it every single time. So this is another ChatGPT prompt if you guys want to use it. I just asked it to give me 10 title ideas. Good book titles consist of these elements, right? Easy to understand, clearly explains the value transformation, everything I just said in the last slide. And we got 10 clear titles over here. 6 steps to a clutter-free home, from overwhelmed to organized. Decluttering made simple, a practical plan to stress less and do more. I like this one. The 30-day declutter plan, declutter your home, declutter your life, and a few more. Now, I personally like this one the best. Declutter your home, declutter your life, a simple guide to getting unstuck. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to paste it over here and I'm going to fix the formatting, like, separating the subtitle, moving this to the middle and stuff like that later. I'm not going to do it now, but hopefully you get the point. Now, I do want to show you what a bad title looks like. So I intentionally generated some bad titles over here. And these are some bad ones that a lot of beginners, a lot of people make book titles like this and it's really bad. So the first one, The Stillness Within. It's too poetic. It's very, very vague. You don't even know what this book is about. Your book title should clearly tell people what your book is about. If I'm doing a decluttering book, it should be very clear the moment you read it that it's about decluttering. So when you say The Stillness Within, you have no idea that it's a decluttering book, right? Same as this one, Elevate Your Space. What does that even mean? Another one is this one, where people are too fancy with their titles. The Minimalist Metamorphosis. Again, why do you have to be so fancy with your title? Just say it's a decluttering book, right? It's so much better if it's straightforward, clear. There's another one, Echoes of Order. Too fancy. People are trying to be way too cute. The next mistake people make is it doesn't show the transformation, like Decluttering Explained, It doesn't sell the book. Like, who cares about the explanation? We want the end results, right? On the Art of Tidying Up Spaces, same thing. Like, no one wants to really learn the art of decluttering. People just want the results. So tell me what I'm going to get, right? Am I going to get a, organized home? Those are the benefits that I'm looking for here when I buy a book on decluttering. Another mistake people make, people try to be way too clever. Again, being cute, fancy, clever, don't do that, okay? It's actually a negative. People will make titles like Tidy or Die Trying. You know, you're trying to be funny, but again, it's just being counterproductive here. Zen and the junk drawer, same thing. Don't try to be cute. Don't try to be clever, especially with nonfiction books. Again, you can do whatever you want, right? If you are, doing this as a passion project. But I made a lot of money selling books. And I can tell you that these are the things that you really got to keep in mind with the titles. So once you wrote the book, once you have the book title ready, the next step is formatting, okay? So the structure of the ebook is we have the book cover page, the introduction, the main chapters, and the conclusion. Now, I'm not going to get into formatting too much because, again, I don't want this video to be too long, but I did film a separate video on how to do this step by step. So again, the link is in the description. You guys can go check it out, follow along, and get your book formatted. Now, some people will tell you that you can go to Canva, use their, book templates and images and put it into your book and, format it. Now, you can do that technically, especially if you're trying to sell your book on, let's say, Etsy, Gumroad, your own WordPress website. If that's what you're trying to do, then you can do whatever you want. However, I think these are literally the worst places to sell your books at, which I'm going to tell you later on why. So now we have to come up with our book cover, and there are two ways to do this. Number one, you can create the book cover yourself. Number two, if you don't want to bother with it, then you can hire a designer, and they're surprisingly very affordable. So for the DIY option, right, doing it yourself, you do have to practice in the beginning, but it is a good free way of doing so. And you can design a book cover on Canva. I just said you don't want to format the book with Canva, but when it comes to book covers, it is okay to use Canva to create it, especially for, your first book ever, right? So I do have a step-by-step tutorial on how to do it with free Canva templates. So I'll leave a link in the description. Just to show you the abundance of designs that you can get from Canva. If you go to Canva, go to templates, you search for book cover, and you have 9,900 designs or templates that you can choose, and you want to edit from there. Like, don't just replace the title and done, edit the design from there. But this helps a lot with the process of creating your book cover here. So you can go and create a book cover with Canva, but if you don't want to bother with it, once again, then you can hire a book cover designer, and they're actually a lot cheaper than you think, right? So there are designers out there that's going to create a book cover for you for just $5, $10 around there. You can obviously pay more, but you can literally get someone for $5 to $10. Now, obviously, you're not going to get an insane New York Times bestseller, quality cover, but this is your first book. You're just getting started, right? Once you start making more money from your books, from your business, then you can reinvest more money into hiring a more expensive but a higher quality book cover designer. So I got a separate video on the best budget, book cover designers that you can hire on Fiverr. So the link is again in the description. As an example, I've used this gig many times. This is one of the ones that I recommend. And just for $10, you can get an ebook cover. And these are some samples. Don't you think it's pretty good for $10, right? This is one of the covers that she made recently. So these are $10 covers. Like, I think it's pretty damn good, and it's probably better than what you can make on Canva. So if you'd rather save time, then you can obviously pay for this. But the purpose of this video is doing everything for free. So if that's the case, then you can do it on Canva too. So once you have the book written, the book cover ready, it's formatted, step number 3 is to upload the book. So now let's get into where you should sell your book on, right? So most people tell you, most other YouTube videos that you will find on this topic will tell you to sell your books on sites like your own website on WordPress, using Gumroad, Stan Store, sometimes even Etsy. And I honestly think these are the worst places to sell your books. There is a much better place where I made all my money, right? Again, I made over $1.7 million in actual royalties from my books from this place. A place where you can tap into millions of existing customers already looking for books to buy. And that is Amazon. So why is Amazon better than all these sites, right? Again, if you use sites like PayHip, Gumroad, Stan Store, your own website, you have absolutely no traffic unless you send it. So all these other YouTube videos will tell you, sell your book, set up this website, sell your book, and use social media marketing to attract people to your website to sell the book, right? When in reality, all these other YouTube channels, they're just doing affiliate marketing, promoting Stan Store. They're sponsored by Squarespace or, PayHip, right? They literally make money just promoting those websites. They don't actually make money selling books. They just wanted to make a video on selling books so that they can, do sponsorships with Stan Store or whatever. But in reality, 70 to 80% of all US book sales are happening on Amazon. Most people are conditioned to buy books on Amazon, right? Because that's what they're so used to. So if 80% of people are buying books on Amazon, why not go where the money is, right? Why not go where the buyers are hanging out? You can still list on PayHip or Gumroad or wherever later if you want to do that. But as a beginner, I think you're much better off selling on Amazon. And not only are 70 to 80% of the customers hanging out on Amazon, by selling on Amazon, they actually do a lot of the things for you as well that you normally have to do. Like if you sell on your own website, right? If you're selling a physical copy, you got to figure out how to do shipping and handling, right? You got to figure out how to do inventory. First of all, you have to build your own website. Then you got to go and attract customers to your website. Then you have to do customer service. Like literally after you make a sale, people can ask for a refund and you have to do customer service. They might ask you additional questions, right? And you have to do all that, which is super tedious, a lot of extra work. You got to obviously constantly do marketing and promotions. You know, you have to pay for hosting and domain and this and that, expensive fees and softwares, right? And a lot of upfront risk for that. You're investing a lot of time, some money into building your own website and stuff that you don't even know if it's going to work out. But by selling on Amazon, Amazon literally does it all for you. They do the shipping and handling. They do the inventory. You don't even need a website because you just sell on Amazon's website, right? They got millions of customers shopping on Amazon every day looking for books, right? They do the customer service, the marketing and promotions, expensive fees and stuff, everything. So essentially, if you're looking for a beginner-friendly business with very little moving parts, then again, leveraging Amazon is a smart way of doing so. And you can sell more than just ebooks, right? Ebooks are just a start. You can sell paperbacks, hardcover, audiobooks, even translating your books to different languages. And it's very easy to convert your books to other formats because you already have the book written. So changing your ebook to a paperback or changing your ebook to an audiobook, very easy, and it sells very well. I have this video on how I made over 400,000, probably more at this point, in audiobook sales and how you can go into the audiobook market. So again, the link is in the description. And the best part about this is that it's completely free, right? Anyone can sell their books on Amazon. There's no sign-up fees, no monthly fees, nothing. You just pay a small cut once you make a sale in exchange for Amazon doing everything for you, which I think is a pretty good deal. And this is called Amazon KDP. So through Amazon KDP, you can sign up and sell your book on Amazon. So that'll be the next step. You want to go to Amazon KDP, create your account, sign up for free. Again, it's completely free. You want to enter your bank and tax details so you can get paid. And you want to go and upload the book. Again, for the step-by-step tutorial, I'll just leave a link to this video on how to do that. And once you're done uploading the book, your book will be approved and selling within 24 to 72 hours. So most of the time, it's like 24 hours or less. So we can make it work for the promise of this video. If you do go over a little bit, maybe it'll be over 24 hours, but it wouldn't be too bad. Now, once the book is live on Amazon, we go to step 4, which is marketing. So just by being on Amazon, right, there is a pretty high chance, I cannot guarantee anything, but there is a high chance that you will get organic sales, right? Like some random people finding your book and deciding to buy it. Like it's pretty crazy that your chance of organic sales are pretty high. Amazon is that big that a random book on page 30 of the search results somehow still makes some sales. It's pretty insane. But if you want to make a lot of sales, right, like life-changing income, if you want to replace your full-time job, then you cannot rely just on organic sales. You want to supplement Amazon traffic with your own marketing as well. So when it comes to marketing, there are 2 ways of doing this. You can do social media marketing, which is absolutely free. You can also run ads, which is a paid way of marketing, which if you're trying to do everything for free in the beginning, you can just do social media marketing and then transition to doing ads later on too. So when it comes to social media, it's as simple as, you start posting your book on social media, mentioning it, linking to your product, right? If you don't have a platform, you want to start with TikTok and Instagram because those 2 are the most effective platform right now, especially TikTok. There's a whole subsection of TikTok and Instagram called Book Talk and Bookstagram. There's a community of readers who you can tap into. And if you're not sure what kind of videos to make, I'll show you the easiest videos that you can create that are very effective to sell your book, right? Essentially what you want to do is you want to order the book yourself, and this is a physical copy, so you have to make a paperback version. If you need a tutorial on that, look up my channel, super easy. You just convert your ebook into a paperback, upload it to KDP, then you can order 1 copy, right? You order the copy and you essentially just showcase it in videos like this. You don't even have to show your face. You don't even have to talk, right? If you don't want to, you just showcase your book and it works really well. It gets a lot of views like this one, right? And then you just tell people, hey, it's available on Amazon if you want to get it. And that is the easiest way to start posting on social media. Now, some people will tell you that, oh, you should build an email list, this and that. And yes, email marketing is effective, but it's not for beginners. Like it's a long-term strategy. You're not going to get immediate results just by doing email marketing. So 9 times out of 10 from the videos that I've watched on other people talking about this business model, telling you to do email marketing, they're basically just sponsored by the email marketing company or they're doing affiliate marketing for whatever email marketing software. You don't have to do that in the beginning. What you should be focusing on is social media marketing. And if you're ready for it, you can do ads like Amazon ads. So instead of doing Facebook ads, YouTube ads, do Amazon ads. You can run ads within Amazon. It's by far the most effective. It's also the cheapest as well. You can start with as low as $3 a day. You only want to increase the budget if you're profiting, like if you're making money more than how much you're spending, then you can increase the budget and spend more, right? And once you learn it, it's simpler than you think. I do have a step-by-step tutorial. The link is in the description. So the way this works is as you get more sales by promoting the book, your book will start moving higher and higher in ranking on page 1. So in my case, I want to show up on top of page 1 when somebody searches for keywords like decluttering, right? Or how to declutter your home, which means I get more organic sales. So that's the whole goal of marketing so that we can get there. And once you get there, you're making multiple sales while you're asleep. Like you literally wake up, you check your dashboard and you're like, oh, nice, I made multiple sales while I was sleeping, which you can see on your Amazon KDP dashboard. If you make a sale, you will see it under the reports tab like this. This is my new Amazon KDP account. I sold the first one, which we'll talk about it very, very soon. But for this new account, I don't do a lot of work on it right now. But the cool thing about this is once you set up your books, it is pretty passive. It sells for a long time without you really touching it. And this is not even counting the audiobook sales and all the other sales you can make. So once you're done with all 4 of those steps, what's next, right? What else can you do? Well, there are many ways to scale this and make more money. You can obviously publish more books, repeat the process. You can make the paperback and audiobook version. You actually make more money here than the ebook version. The ebook is just a start, honestly. And you can do translations like translating your English version into Spanish, German, Italian, many different languages. You can do bundles like putting together these books and selling it as a box set. You can build your audience. This is when email marketing comes in, or social media marketing, like building an audience there, and much more strategies that you can take, such as selling your books, right? You can literally sell your account, which is what I've done for my first account. So I built it up to a point where I was doing tens of thousands of dollars per month, and I ran that for multiple years. I was making multiple 6 figures a year, right? And I eventually sold the first account for $820,000, which you can see here. This is the actual real bill of sale of that. And after that, I started a new account that I am building right now. So hopefully that all made sense. If you're wondering what is actually possible with Amazon KDP, not just my results, right? Then you can check out the first link in the description. It takes you to a page like this. This is a page to apply for our coaching program. But if you scroll down here, you will see a lot of testimonials of actual students of ours and how much they are making and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying, results are guaranteed. These are the average, this and that. Obviously, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just showing you this to show what is possible. A lot of people are replacing their 9-to-5 jobs, right? A lot of people are doing hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars per month. So again, we do offer a complete Amazon KDP mentorship program, but if you don't want to, or if you're not ready for it, if it's too big of a step, no problem at all. We also offer what we call the 7-day book challenge, which is essentially what we covered today, but more in depth. Essentially, it is a challenge showing you how to write and publish a book in 7 days, going through the steps that we went through today in this video, but broken down into 7 days, each video being more detailed, more step-by-step. It is a paid challenge though, so you got to pay a little bit, but if you want to check it out, again, the link is in the description. And again, you don't have to do any of these things. Like you can just follow this video and I think you can figure it out yourself. I tried to make it as in-depth as possible, right, for this video so that you can follow along. But if you need a little more hand-holding, if you want a little more information, then these are some additional resources. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it till the end here, because this was a pretty long video, I want you to let me know in the comment and let me know that you are starting this process by saying I'm starting today so that we can cheer you on. And once you're done creating your first ebook and it's live on Amazon, I want you to come back to the comment section and type, I've published my book. I try to respond to as many comments as possible, so I might respond to yours as well. If you enjoyed the video, then leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.